How's it going, guys? Carl here from North Coast Constrictors. I'm in a different room now doing this video. It's an introduction to a video that you're about to watch. And the reason why I'm doing it in my lounge is because I had to take my camera stand and the lighting out of the snake room to make this video, because I didn't want to disturb what's going on inside the snake room currently, where I've paired up my Dumerils boas for the first time. So you'll see the videos that I'm uploading now. One or two of the videos I uploaded about 3-4 days ago when I first introduced these Dumerils together, and it was chaos. It was Armageddon in the tank. I thought I'd done something wrong. You'll see I mentioned that on the videos that are going to follow after this introduction. You'll see this. I'll be in the snake room, but I wanted to upload this onto my YouTube channel, and it would have been stupid to try and upload what you're about to watch without doing this introduction to explain to you how it's done in this sequence. But I couldn't film this inside the snake room because then I would disturb what's going on there. So what you're gonna see first is what I recorded a couple of days ago, put the Dumerils in together for the very first time, and chaos ensued, all right, which at least what I thought was chaos. And then you'll see why it actually wasn't chaos. And then you'll see a video of them being introduced tonight. Yeah, so without further ado, have a look at the first footage from a few days ago, and then you'll see the footage from earlier this evening. And then I'll end off the video with a kind of closing statement. Okay, so what we've got here is for a very first time introduction of a male Dumerils boa to the female Dumerils boa that I have. It looks quite intense inside the enclosure. This is their first introduction together. They are both of breeding weight. As you can see, there's a lot of bucking and what seems like, I don't know, uncertainty. This is a first for me. I breed ball pythons, but I've had these Dumerils for a while and they are of breeding age, and she is ready to breed. So I spoke to one of the top boa breeders that I'm in contact with, and he said to pair them and introduce the male to the female today, which I've now done, and I'm just monitoring the situation. It seems quite heated inside there. It seems quite tense. The female is the one on the right, the male is the one that's climbing the glass at the moment. I'm not sure if they're going to settle down. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if she's going to reject him or this is a first for me. It's something that I haven't done before. I didn't expect it to be so active inside the tank now. They do seem quite upset. To be honest, very active, a lot of moving around. So I'm just doing a record. I'm gonna video what's going on and how it goes. So there'll probably be a couple of videos in sequence here. He is a big boy. She's a big girl. Yeah, we'll see, and hopefully they relax with each other and calm down, and I don't know, maybe we'll get a lock, maybe I won't get a lock, but I'll have to monitor this very closely, because right now it seems very tense inside that enclosure, and I'm hoping that things do calm down. and that we have a successful Dumerils pairing in lockup, and maybe some Dumerils babies, but we'll see. This is, as I say, this is a first for me with the Dumerils. I usually do the boas, beg your pardon, the bull pythons. But I think they're probably just getting a scent of each other. They're busy moving around. I've put him into her enclosure. And it's a 7-day in and 3 days out. That is the routine that I'm following. 7 days of the male being in the female's enclosure, and then take him out for 3 days, offer a meal, and then put him back in again for 7 days. But I'm going to have to monitor this situation closely, because this looks quite tense inside there, to be honest. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. Seems to be a little bit calmer now. Not much movement going on inside the tank. She's now starting to approach him and sense him. You can see her tongue. I'm not sure if this is the start of a good sign. And these guys have never been put together. They've always been in separate tanks. Well, geez, you can almost hear the wood creaking inside there. These are some powerful snakes. Anyway, oh well, stay tuned. Let's hope we get some more footage. I wonder if I left the room and just turned off the light, if things would calm down, but I almost don't want to leave them alone. I want to monitor them and see what happens, just in case these two start going at it, start taking bites out of each other, and I'm going to have to jump in there and separate. I'm going to have to go and get my nice big thick gloves, and if that happens, and it's going to be a mess once I open up that glass, because I can see substrate flying everywhere, and I'm going to have to I really hope they do calm down. Come on, dude. Surely it can't be that bad. Eh? This is like the heart of mating season for these guys, so you know, I know it's their first pairing, but yeah, to be honest, when I was advised to do the pairing, I was not expecting this reaction. I thought they would the male would go in nice and gently, and they would scent each other and curl up and whatnot, but I'm seeing very, very aggressive. Yo, look at that, pushing right up against the glass there. Hoping that glass holds. Oh shit. Oh boy, I'm holding that glass there because I know how strong these snakes are. They could crack this glass without even one good solid thud from that body would shatter this glass if they're both pushed up against each other like this. So just trying to get some pressure off the glass there. On the wood I don't mind so much, but geez, I don't want them to be pushing each other up against the glass like that. Well guys, I hate to say it, but after watching these guys, I think unless things calm down in the next 10 minutes, I think I'm probably going to have to take the boy out and separate them. See what happens. Maybe give it another few minutes and see, but this is not a sign of two snakes enjoying each other's company, that's for sure. Okay, so it's been about 2 hours now and these guys have settled down. She was curled up in the corner here, not wanting anything to do with him. He was curled up that side, not wanting anything to do with her. And now they both stopped moving around, and it looks like she's slowly starting to approach him and sniff, scent, smell, whatever. So I think I'm gonna leave them in overnight and see what happens. Yeah, definitely a lot of activity earlier on. Found the expert, in my opinion, one of the guys that I know that's an expert in boa breeding. And he told me that the behavior that I was witnessing was perfectly normal. Dumerils are very, very powerful animals. And when you first introduce them, then that kind of behavior is normal. So she's slowly starting to take a little bit of interest in him, get used to the fact that she's got a male in her enclosure, and they're starting to relax a bit. So we'll continue to monitor the situation, and hopefully we'll get a lockup. Only time will tell. Okay, so that was a failed experiment, or attempted pairing. I've had to remove the male from the female's enclosure. You can see she's here by herself, chilling now. She was curled up in the corner there on the cool spot. He was curled up there on the cool spot. You can see the tank is an absolute mess. There was a lot of poo and whatnot that came out and was splashed all up on the sides. It was like a war zone inside that enclosure. I actually thought the glass was going to break at one point. Anyway, I separated them, and after about 2.5 hours together, the male is now in his enclosure, hiding away under his log. There he is there, and on his hot spot, and things seem to have calmed down. Guys, how's it going? I'm gonna try and make this quick because this is a delicate pairing. When I say delicate, it requires a lot of concentration on my side. I'm about to pair 2 Dumerils boas together. This is the second introduction to each other. They are first-time breeders, but they are of age. But these are incredibly powerful snakes. Now, it's my first year breeding Dumerils boas. It's my second year doing ball pythons. Anyway, I introduced this male to the female a couple of days ago, and it was Armageddon in the tank. At one point I thought I'd made a mistake and had 2 males and paired them together. And then I spoke to a friend of mine who's a very well-known boa breeder and very experienced, and the behavior, what I witnessed, is actually normal. It was the male showing in dominance over the female. Although they didn't lock, it was a constant battle. It was a lot of bucking. It was a lot of him pushing down on top of her. There was no biting, there was no striking, but the amount of power inside that tank, inside this tank here, I actually thought the glass was going to shatter. And I was recording it, and I was going to upload it on YouTube. And then after everything happened, I just thought, okay, no, I've made a mistake. They're not supposed to be paired. There's something wrong. It's not going right. They're completely rejecting each other. And then obviously I was on the phone to my mate, who you know, because I mean, I make no secrets about the fact that I'm a new breeder, you know, new ball python breeder. And then I got into the boas and the retics. The retics I'm only going to be breeding next year, although I do have them already growing up to size, and you know, but the Dumerils are ready to pair. I have one pair, but what I noticed when I put them together was just it wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't the same as what I see when I pair up my ball pythons. Anyway, so I was told that the behavior that I witnessed was perfectly normal, which is actually quite astounding. So I'm going to attempt to pair them again now. And I'm going to record it because it's definitely worth watching. Obviously, I've got to use a snake hook. Now, when I do pair them up, this is the female's enclosure. I take this piece of driftwood out. Okay, I'm just going to put it here on the floor and leave it like that. And this is the male over here. Alright, and I'm going to pair him up. He is a feisty guy, and I have to take his piece of driftwood out without getting tagged. Alright, now I'm going to get him out the enclosure. Now he doesn't really like coming out of the enclosure. He's in a nice good striking position, but I've got him. Oh. Yes, he's a powerful snake. Okay, and substrate all over the floor, and that's okay. Alright, so this is my boy Thor. Hello, my boy. Stunning Dumerils boa, as you can see. Absolute machine. And I'm now going to put him into that enclosure with the female. And, well, let's see what happens. So, I just don't want him to lock on me and coil me like he is doing now. Okay, and let's, and actually what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put him in from this side. I'm going to put him in from the opposite side. So that there's no... Alright, so yeah. And she is already noticing that he's in the tank. I do not know what is going to happen, and boom, shut that. Okay, now I'm going to try and maybe just bring this a little bit closer to the tank here, and hopefully we can observe what's going on. Now, I'll try and be in the picture a little bit. This is definitely going a lot smoother than the last time I paired them. In fact, let me just try and... Sorry guys, I know this is very unprofessional photography and cameramanship, if you want to call it that, on my side. But anyway, okay, so the last time I put these snakes together, I thought that glass was going to shatter. They did not like each other at all. They were going ballistic. She was going ballistic. He was bucking. His body was hitting the roof. Their bodies were pushing up against the glass. I honestly thought the glass was going to shatter. I actually had my hand on the glass. Both their bodies were pushed up against the glass. And I actually thought the glass was going to shatter. This now seems... This is the complete opposite of what happened when I paired them up a couple of days ago. And I left them in for maybe about 3 hours, and then I took them out. the recommendation was to put them in again a couple of days later and leave them in for about half an hour. What they're doing is they're getting used to each other. The behavior that I saw was actually the male dominating the female and basically overpowering her in order for her to accept him. Okay, so he had to show dominance and strength, and eventually, after enough of that, she will eventually give herself up and present her tail and her cloaca for him to lock. So it's basically a dance in a way. It's a Dumerils boa mating dance, which I thought was just gonna end up in, like, you know, broken glass, damaged snakes. I honestly thought there was going to be biting going on and whatnot, but they didn't strike each other once. And then, you know, as I say, I learn everything that I learn. I've learned from other breeders that are better than me and have been doing it for longer than me. And here I am now, my second attempt at putting these two together. So already there's a massive difference. So I'm going to just put the rubber stopper here to stop anything from going on, and I'm going to leave these guys in here now and wait to hear any, you know, keep it coming and check every now and then, and hopefully we get a lock. I think I might even upload the initial video that I did of them behaving and carrying on like crazy, but we'll see what happens. You might actually be seeing this video after I've uploaded that other video. And in fact, I might do that. So guys, here we go, North Coast Constrictors, our first Dumerils boa pairing of ever. I should have actually started pairing them about, I would say, maybe 6 weeks ago. I'm a little late in the season. I did think they were not ready for breeding until next year. And another more experienced breeder said to me, no, they are actually quite all right to put together now. They're the right size, they're the right age. Don't wait until next year, do it now. So here we go. You know, 6 weeks late, but, you know, it only takes a lock or two, and then, you know, we'll see. Maybe we'll have a couple of Dumerils boas, a little couple of baby Dumerils boas in the next couple of months. We'll see. But yes, absolutely, definitely a far different reaction I'm getting from these guys now. So yeah, he's like slowly edging his way. She's slowly going that way. I have just paired up all my ball pythons that I'm pairing up for the weekend. And then I thought, okay, let me give these guys a second chance. see what happens. If I hear glass shattering later on, then I'll come in and obviously have to separate these two and put him back in his tank and put her in one of the holding tubs, one of the big holding. I've got some spare holding tubs. All right, guys, that's it. If I've got anything interesting else to show you, hopefully I catch it on video. And there's a Dumerils pairing, and what I'll do is I'll just take the camera off the stand here, and I'll bring the camera a little closer so that you can see him over there, and then you can see her over there. Her head is just behind the water bowl. Now they're starting to kind of like make eye contact. Yeah, very interesting to see what is going to transpire over the next day or so, or even over the next couple of hours. Anyway, guys, so from me, Cole, North Coast Constrictors, over and out for now, and I'll be sure to keep you updated on these two. Okay, so as you can see how I ended off, how that last video ended off, and then the reason why I'm making the video here is because when I left, when I put those Dumerils together tonight, and I went back into the snake room to check all the tubs for the ball pythons that I'd paired up, because what I do is on a weekend before, my last check of the evening, check if I've paired up any ball pythons, just to see if there's been any locks. It's almost 9 o'clock, and I turned on the lights. Well, I've got one small light in the corner. Obviously, don't turn on all the lights in the snake room, it'll disturb them. But I turned on the lights, and then I had a look inside the Dumerils tank, and the male was lying on top of the female, nice and chilled, his head by her head, his tail by her tail, and it looked like they were about to lock. And then obviously, because I put on the lights and came in and disturbed everything, they got all upset and they started to get a bit jittery and they started moving apart from each other. And I was like, shit, I've disturbed them and I shouldn't have done that. And obviously I want them to lock up. I mean, it's the first introduction, it's the first pairing, my first Dumerils pairing. I want it to be successful. So I quickly turned off all the lights, and I grabbed my camera stand with the light that's recording this now, pulled it out so that I could make a video outside the snake room, and then do a video to post on YouTube about the Dumerils breeding that's going on here at North Coast Constrictors. So obviously after I saw that, I got hold of that mate of mine who obviously I phoned in the beginning to tell him the behavior that I'd noticed. And the first time I paired them up, I thought it was chaos and Armageddon and 2 males. Told him what I'd seen now, complete calmness, absolutely no aggression towards each other. These snakes were chilled, they were on top of each other, there was no bucking, there was no fighting, there was no striking, there was nothing. It was fantastic. I was only going to put them in for half an hour and then take them out, but I've been told leave them in, and it's the chances of me witnessing a lock with boas is very, very rare. Boas will usually, according to, and I quote now from my friend that's more experienced than I in the industry and he's been breeding boas for years, usually in the early hours of the morning are when the Dumerils or a boa pairing will lock. Okay, so like about between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's not a common thing for you to actually see. So you won't know. So it's going to be 4 days in and 3 days out, or it's the other way around. I need to listen to his message again. 3 days in and 4 days out, or 4 days in and 3 days out, and offer the male a meal every second rotation and leave them in right up until the end of August. Some guys that breed boas they leave them in the whole time. They don't actually separate. They may take the male out and offer it a small meal and then put him straight back in. The advice that I've got is to take the male out for about 3 days, 3 or 4 days. On the second day, offer her a meal, and then put him back in 2 days later. Him to skip a meal. The second rotation, when I take him out, offer him a meal, and then put him back in 2 days later. So that's how I'm going to operate things going forward now for the next 2.5 months with those Dumerils. And hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, in a few months' time, we'll have some baby Dumerils. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this content. If you like the channel and what you see, please hit the like and hit the subscribe button and help grow the channel for us. Catch you on the next video. Cheers.